highest reward. In this very situation, I decided to show you the pair of the euro and the Australian dollar here on TradingView because it is perfectly showing us the moving down and back of the quotations. You see, from some period of time we can see some distance where we could be having to deal with the highest quotations, which were here. And well, after some period of time there was a growing down and you can see it perfectly. Then a small retracement and growing down, and then so many huge impulses after the growing down. And if I zoom in, you see how all this definitely shown on this chart. So now we're here, the witnesses of the quotations to be a little bit in retracement again and again. So my friends, first we need to understand how to see the market structure. Let's find some interesting cases there. Here's the chart of 1 minute time frame, and you see how it is definitely shown. We're having a huge quantity of highest highs. You see, in some period of time, I'm going to show you how to consider the graph up and down of the quotations and how to consider the highest high, lowest low, high lows, high highs, and so on, guys. So my friends, it's interesting case because when you're having to deal with a short period of time, it will be of course not so similar as if you're working with a 1 day time frame. So it depends on what kind of strategy you are having, what kind of trading strategy you are going to deal with. So let's see how it's perfectly shown, but a little bit not so similar, a little bit different. And from out of here we have the highest high, and now we're having some situation to fall to go with the bears. And you see, if we're zooming this in, you see how it perfectly shown the growing down of the quotations, and this is here. For example, if we're drawing the line, we can see perfectly how it's perfectly provided on this very distance. I mean, this very part. That was the highest high, and then we are going down, and from some period of time the renewing one, lowest low, as far as I can see. And now we can work with any short distances you want. For example, first of all, if you're trying to learn, please decide to work with then some of distances. You can part the chart in some distances, and as far as I told you, and to consider them as growing up or growing down. For example, from this very case, we're having the renewal highest high, and you see, and you can draw the line from out of here and to decide what is going along, my friends. To decide what is going along with then growing of the quotations further, you see I consider them as growing down, and then there's a small retracement back, and then again growing down, and so on and so on. It's quite an interesting case, because if you're working with them different time frames, then will be of course different. So that's it, and I'm going to move on to another case which we are going to discuss because I have something to show you.
Guys, I want to remind you that now I'm actually working on a community in Telegram. That's why right now I want to briefly tell about it. So on this channel I give more useful information about trading every day. I share different news, give a large amount of materials about trading, also analyze my best strategies, and most importantly give you free trading signals with 90% profitability which can be used in your own profitable trades. My subscribers are already achieving incredible results with this channel. Just look at them and you can do the same. So if you're interested and not subscribed yet, just follow the link in the description under this video and let's develop together. So, and we continue.
And well, my friends, I'm here on my mirror desk, and as you see before, we're going to discuss some differences along with these 3 cases, and I'm going to show you it is about 1 hour, 15 minutes and 4 hours time frames. I'm going to talk to you about how the market structure happens. So how it's happening is because during the impulse phase you can consider that there is enough buyers. For example, there's this impulse phase which I'm going to show you, and it's the highest high, and if we're considering the graph up, we're calling it the highest high and the highest low. So higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and are here. So let's discuss. We can consider there is not enough buyers after this high and this high, and well, the situation is going to continue to grow, but after some period of correction, because here we're having some buyers, the sellers are going to be in these very cases. There are not enough buyers to go on with a strong growing up. So there has to be some soft retracement, and so some sellers, you see it after some time, some sellers came in and start to then push the price down into the correction. And here this is the very correction which I'm going to show, which I'm talking to you about. And now after the price are done recorrecting, more buyers start to come in and buy low and sell high. So we're having a new high, and now we're here. So buy on this high, meaning this high low, causing the price to be pushing up even further to recreate a new high. So this is how the market is happening, and the market structure is going to be shown, and after it became high, it starts to retrace again and again, and it's going with the providing the growing up of the quotations. So you see the way it looks, highest high becomes higher, and it's which I'm going to show you, which I'm telling you. And I'm here to hold pushing up of the quotations. Here you see we are talking about the pushing up of the bulls. The main structure here is of course for the bulls, and they're having on its way high lows, and so usually the price go higher than the previous high that we have right here. And well, usually it comes down with the highest low, so you see the highest high are also here. And if you're talking about the high positions or the points, the lower points are described as the highest low. So this is the highest low, and we're talking about the growing high. Sometimes, my friends, we can recreate them within this view, the situation when a new highest low is typically situated in the position. You would draw the imaginative line in the same position as the previous highest high. This is what I'm going to show you. Let me show you this very case. For example, you see, if we're drawing this very imaginative line, we can see that the highest low here, it's quite perfectly represented. It's the same line as the highest high. The previous highest high, it is what I was talking to you. All that we see here is providing us a minute time frame. And that's it. For example, I'm showing you the case of 5 hours time frame, and which I'm recreating here on my desk, and my friends, it's seen here clearly, but it may be a little bit confusing on the smaller time frames, which I'm going to talk to you about. So let me go a bit higher, so this very situation, and let me consider working with it and show you how it's perfectly look like. I just tried to show you the same pair, the same combination of euro and Australian dollar, and you see if we zoom in this, we can see that one day chart here is providing us the graph down of the quotations. If we're moving here and deciding to consider it to be a bit more precise, you can see that it's very case when we consider only the last 2 or 3 candlesticks, and we're having here one day chart which is providing us with the graph down of the quotations, and that's it. We're having it, but after some period of time, we're having, let me show you the whole thing. Here is more obvious view of the desk with 1 hour time frame, and you see how it's differently shown here on this chart. We're having here on 1 hour chart, and if you see, there is a small red candlestick which is going to be shown, but the whole tendencies are providing us with the graph up of the quotations. You see how it's not similar in the comparison to the 1 day trading, and you have to consider it whether you're working with the day trading, with the scalping, and so on, with boundary options using only 1 minute time frame. It all depends. So you have to consider the whole view, the whole situation on the market. It will also help you. So 15 minutes, and here also predictive perfectly shown, because if you can consider 1 hour is here providing us with not so same digits in terms of the time, and now you can see how it's perfectly provided along with 15 minutes. Now we're having here 11 AM, and situation here is showing us slowly growing up of the quotations, and if we're drawing the emergency line, for example, from this very point of view, I can consider there is here, it is, and here if you see, it is when we're positioned on the highest high here, the highest high is happening. Before the next part, in the previous part there is highest high, but from this very position it became being then I should say the lowest, the highest low, because from this case we are going down and there's a little bit of retracement. We're having then going a bit further, going a bit higher, and there's a new quantity of taps which are going to provide us maybe with the next growing up of the quotations. You see how it's perfectly shown, so that is what I'm going to talk to you. Sometimes there are cases which here are providing you with not so similar situation. My friends, before every trading, you also have to consider it that way you can see and you can have a greater income and having a greater entry point with more definitive details. So that's it. And my friends, you see I'm moving on with one-day trading and seeing the whole situation. I also see that there was the lowest low, which is here, and maybe it's going to be a new one lowest low because it's shown that there is a great potential right over here to consider the next growth down. So by the way, if I were trading with one-day trading time frame, I would potentially go with the bears from out of here. Now you see I have considered the whole graph with working with 1 minute time frame, and you see how it differs a lot, and you see we still have the tendencies to grow down. There was some kind of correction, I should say, and that was a bigger one, and now you see in comparison with the 1 minute time frame, it's a huge graph of the quotations. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candlesticks. There's a renewal highest high from out of here, but the whole tendencies, the whole structure, the market structure, I will consider this from the top of here. This is the growing down market structure. The bears are coming. So I would consider this very top as a high, and let me say it correctly. Let's say it's lowest high and as lower high because we're working with a lot of tendencies. And now there is a period of correction which is happening here. We're having some tops and we're gonna have some tops that definitely will go a bit lower. And then you see I have to zoom out to consider what was before, and because we're here to execute the next move, you see there are many tendencies. Very tendencies to go to show us the retracement, to go backwards to the bottoms and then back to the tops and then again to the bottoms. Now you see that's a huge great grab down of the quotation with small retracement. You will zoom this out and have this retrospective of this chart of 1 minute time frame. So now let's go along with the 30 minutes. Maybe let's consider the graph with half an hour candlesticks. That's also an interesting case. You see we're having here the case when the situation is loading, and let me see the previous or the next case. Let us consider what is going on here. Then 30 minutes candlesticks are also showing us they're going down at the quotations. And now I can consider also this structure as lower growing lower. I will call each top and bottom as a lower high lower, lower high and renew and lower high, and the lower is here. And well, the concept, my friends, the concept is also the same. You're just going to look with the major structure, consider this structure, and then look for your minor structure that will help you a lot. Then we'll give you maximum reward, go into the higher trend, and then the next thing, the third thing, is recollecting details to execute the high trend. So you see from this very point of view we're having the green candlesticks, but anyway the huge situation is calling for growing down, and you see that recently the prices were moving in some kind of flat zones. Before the execution to the next move, as for example like in this case, I would recommend you, if you were in this very position, let me show you for example this very case, this very part, this distance, I would recommend to have any deals and just waiting. I would recommend waiting in this case because recently the price in this very position, they went on showing the no potential to go grow down or a little bit higher. You see there was some catch to grow a bit higher, but there was a great retracement back with the bears. So in this case, I would recommend you to working with such kind of combination of dodges and to wait for the bearish engulfing, some more case to use, to execute more obvious ways further, to have more obvious signs to execute your next move. So first of all, What else? I have to say that you need to have your emergency flying. From this point of view, we are having then two bottoms of Laoslaw, and there is a repeating situation which little bit low position of the Laoslaw, which can describe us as going to grow a little bit down or with some sort of retracement back. And I mean the retracement back, but of the retracement of the position, then again you see there is a repeating kind of story with downstairs. And then again we're having some more of candlesticks providing us with not so great situation. I would say that it's not kind of story to go on with trading, but as far as you see, we're not going to trade with stop losses and so on, because we have moving bread up and down. And you see, we're out of time. There are many cases when we're working, as you see, I'm showing you the situation when with then having just a little bit of time and going on the obvious details and having a greater income. So that's it. And also let me finish it with all all this data, with all this info. We have the potential to recreate the lowest low and lowest high. If you're working with a low at tendencies and also have the ability to recreate, to create in your mind, to mind the potential having the next highest high and having the previous highest lows and the highest highs, that's the interesting case to go on talking about for a long time. But I think for this very video that's quite enough, and we will go on talking about in a bit later. Thanks a lot for watching this video.